It is my pleasure to welcome you to this webinar that we are having today. It focuses on communications platform as a service. Communications platform as a service. What really does? Some people call it CPaaS. What does communications platform as a service mean? I have with me this morning a veteran in the industry, telecom industry, banking industry. I'm going to be asking him a lot of questions, interactive. And for some of you that have questions that you would like to also ask him, we would like you to please send in those questions. My guest today, our guest today is Mr. Steve Ubiago. Steve, good to see you again, man.
Thank you very much, Femi, for having me.
You know, Steve and I have been around for years. You know, grew up together in the industry. Steve is the program director for MTN IT operations. Is the program director for MTN IT operations. Steve has worked with several banks in Nigeria, several known banks, the top 5. He's led several programs for them. And he's currently doing his PhD at Harvard, right?
Yeah, at Harvard.
That's interesting to know. Steve is not just a theoretical person, he's an industry veteran. So I can say confidently that we are in safe hands. So Steve, starting, we're talking about communications platform as a service. But first of all, let's talk about platforms.
Yeah.
I know that Uber is a platform. You know, I know that Airbnb is a platform.
Yeah.
I know that Apple Store, Google Play Store, iTunes, these are all platforms.
Yeah.
You know, these are things that we've been hearing a few years from now. In the past, it never used to be there.
Yeah.
So I want us to tell us generally about what are platforms and what do they do? What are they for?
Okay, Femi, thanks, Femi, for receiving me. And thanks to the audience for logging into this webinar. Way back several years ago, we used to have situations where systems were isolated in silos. So you had servers managing different kind of things. So platforms came about because it was obvious that these isolated systems will no longer handle what was being pushed at them. And the interactions between these isolated systems were not able to get the required benefits of what people wanted, services that people wanted. So platforms in general came about because this had to be combined into a single entity and made to be able to serve the same purposes this isolated system serves, where services ride upon.
That's interesting to know. So platforms are not standalone, you know, so
Yeah.
as opposed to standalone systems, platforms are things that are centralized.
Yeah.
So what about communications platform and also as a service? Well, how is this different from the regular communications infrastructure that we have always known?
What communications platform is all about is that you have a platform where several services collate into. So you have your telephony, you have your web, you have your internet, you have several services that an organization needs. And these services collate into one area. So a communication platform is a centralized positioning of these different services, which gives the users the ability to be able to interact within those services without being in isolated systems.
That's interesting to know. Interesting to know, Steve. Thanks for that. For those that are joining us, just joining us, we have engineer Steve Ubiago in the house. He's been discussing about platforms. What are platforms for? What do they do? What are the benefits of having a platform? And he has also spoken to us about communications platform as a service. My question again, Steve, is why should we run business communications through just one platform?
I believe if you have different, if you're going to a destination and you have to jump, I'll use the very simple analogy. You're going to a particular destination B and you have to get to that destination B. Do you prefer to jump into different vehicles to get to that destination B, or do you prefer to use one vehicle? I think the audience will have that to think about. It will always be better for us to use one vehicle to get to destination B. So communication platform is that one vehicle. So you have your telephony, you have your internet, you have your various means of communication. To reach your customers, do you need to have those different things installed in your premises, or can you just use only one platform that encompasses those things to reach your customers? And I believe the simple answer why we should use one communication platform is the fact that it gives you synergy to be able to move within those various platforms you have, and then at the end of the day reach your customers. I think that is the primary goal.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. Thanks also for that, Steve. So, the acronym for Communication Platform as a Service is CPaaS. From this point onwards, I'll try to use CPaaS.
Exactly.
I'm trying not to be technical.
Exactly.
I'll use CPaaS. So, how does CPaaS benefit people's business? How can people benefit from CPaaS?
It's obvious that when you have CPaaS, Communication Platform as a Service, it gives you one single point of interaction. So it means that if you have a business and you have several customers coming in from telephony, coming in from your web, coming in from your internet, it collates into one single point of, so it gives that single channel, omni-channel point of reference. That's one. Secondly, it gives you efficiency. Instead of bothering yourself with my PABX is not working, my internet is not working, my XYZ is not working, you have one single platform where every single point of channel for your business collates into. So that gives you efficiency. It gives you speed to market. It gives you every single thing that technology would offer. Even upgrades. If you had several channels for your communication, what you will be doing, will be bothering about how the new updates on the PBX is going, the new updates on the unified communication is going, the new updates that are being pushed out by the web. But with a single platform, that takes your worry away. So if you're using a CPaaS platform, it takes away all your worries, because that single channel gives you that leverage to be able to ensure that you're updated, you're up to time, you're up to speed, your customers are up to speed of market is key here. And that is the part of the reason why that single channel is better than the normal, what we're used to, several isolated communication environments. So with the CPaaS, it gives you that single omni-channel efficiency and thoroughness in terms of upgrades. Thank you.
That's interesting. So I want to believe that this CPaaS thing, this communications platform as a service, is meant mostly for businesses and not individuals.
Well, the fact is that yes, businesses are the primary target of CPaaS, because if you, as an individual, are you going to be having several customers calling you, depending on the kind of business you're doing? So even as an individual, if you have a business that consistently evolves, or a business that consistently evolves, all it means is that as this business grows, then the CPaaS platform becomes for you. But businesses primarily are our target area.
Okay. Okay, so talking about businesses now, since businesses are the target area, let's look at the banking industry. I know many of them are already implementing this infrastructure, CPaaS. How does it benefit the banking industry?
So I'll come to the banking industry. This is an area where the CPaaS becomes very, very important. So you take the banking industry today has several channels which customers communicate. Customers can either communicate through the internet, they can communicate through the telephony, they can communicate through the contact center, they can communicate through several areas. With CPaaS, what simply happens is that these different areas are conglomerated into one platform that is able to efficiently address the issues of the customers. There's also a cost savings, because you don't necessarily need to now have disparate systems managing several things. The CPaaS platform immediately takes care of every single thing an isolated system could have managed. And it, at the end of the day, it saves you time, it saves you resources, it saves you capital, it simplifies your operations, it allows you to scale effortlessly. And truth about it is that as a business, as a bank and as a business, you want to scale.
Yeah.
And CPaaS will be your go-to platform to do that.
Interesting. There was something you mentioned that actually struck a chord. You said cost savings is really key. People want cost savings. So let's look at SMEs, small and medium scale businesses. They don't have deep pockets like the banks. How, first of all, can they afford to implement CPaaS? Is this something that is within their reach? And what benefits can they gain from it as SMEs?
Okay, as SMEs, I think you've said it. The SME trying to invest in hardware, complex systems, it will be very difficult for most SMEs to do that. So what do? A lot of them will either have maybe just a single telephony line to their businesses, which does not capture the online customer. Some of them might have online, but they may not have the telephony, which may not also capture the customers on the telephony part. So with CPaaS, it simply drives efficiency for them. They can deploy it, capture all the customers in the various. If you look at the current dispensation, really, a lot of customers are either on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. They are in so many areas, and with that you can get every single business alignment from those areas into your CPaaS. So with having the CPaaS for these SMEs will save them the cost of heavy investment on isolated systems. And that is the go-to area.
That's interesting. What about healthcare? Health is wealth. And, I'm sure that efficient and effective communication is very important for healthcare system too. How can the healthcare industry also benefit from this?
So today, Femi, thanks for that. Today, the health care industry is moved or is driving with AI implementations, because a lot of things are currently happening on the AI environment, and healthcare is one of the biggest beneficiaries of AI. The CPaaS will definitely integrate with AI-driven solutions. So you don't have to isolate yourself in terms of having to invest heavily on a whole lot of new innovations in AI. So for those in healthcare, what it simply means is that with the CPaaS platform, you can garner the advantages of AI and new innovation. So you don't need to start thinking about how to invest heavily on AI-driven technology to be able to work with your patients. With the CPaaS platform, that takes care of it, and at a very cost and efficient manner.
Interesting. Communications platform as a service. In case you are just joining us, we have in the studio with me Engineer Steve Obiagu, who is a telecom veteran, a banking, expert professional. Is the one talking about communications platform as a service. Thanks, Steve. So how does CPaaS or communications service platform as a service affect customer service? How does it enhance customer service?
CPaaS is obvious once you have deployed a CPaaS product. As a customer, you want the best from your client. And as a business, you want the best for your customer. So it gives, one of the things it does is speed to market. With CPaaS products, you are able to deliver state-of-the-art solutions to your customer. You're able to quickly inform them of new innovations. You're not waiting for one expensive corporate comms ad to do that. You're also able to save cost. As you save your own cost, you also reduce the cost from your customers. You're also able to be efficient in your activities. So it drives efficiency, it drives cost savings. The CPaaS gives your business effortless scaling abilities.
Ability to scale.
Yes.
Now with CPaaS, do we have to worry about security? What's the security? Because one thing about these IT tools, what people say, so you bring in this thing now, then they will say, oh, something has been opened up. Yes. How does he handle security?
Well, you see, we are right now in a very security-centric environment and age. Every single thing from the wars in the various countries to wars within and outside, people are security conscious. So with CPaaS, it gives you that comfort that someone somewhere is updating your security environment. It gives you comfort that if there are AI-driven activities, that you have that stated comfort that a company that is reliable is handling it. Because if you do not have CPaaS, what you would have been doing was that your various isolated areas of communication, you would have been bothering yourself trying to make sure that your updates are okay on the web, your infrastructure is with the latest upgrades, every single thing you are doing, you're bothering about the isolated system. But with CPaaS, there's a combined or an integrated security feature in the CPaaS platform, which gives that security to the customers.
So security is embedded.
It's embedded.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's embedded.
Interesting to know. Yeah. So how does CPaaS relate with e-commerce? We hear of a lot of e-commerce solutions here. Jumia, this one. I don't want to promote any platform. So how does it relate with e-commerce?
Okay, there's a lot of e-commerce solutions all around, and what the CPaaS is, it allows you an effortless communication with these e-commerce isolated solutions. So if you have the CPaaS, you are presently your own e-commerce solution, so to say, because with your CPaaS, you have already driven into having connectivities with your web, with your telephony, with every single means of communications that you expect to have. It's integratable. Wow. So with the e-commerce era, the CPaaS integrates seamlessly. So even if you have several e-commerce as your partners, you don't need to bother about the isolated integration. You can integrate all those e-commerce elements into your CPaaS. So CPaaS serves as your central, in quotes, central conglomeration point. So it becomes very critical for you.
That's interesting. We are also in the era of AI. Yeah. Artificial intelligence is coming. The news is that it will render several type of solutions obsolete. Yeah. So if I'm thinking of investing in this area, shouldn't I wait? Do I go ahead? A lot of people are just confused about some of these things. How will AI affect CPaaS?
Okay, I think AI is for the benefit of everybody. Yeah. But I'm an advocate of responsible AI. What do I mean by responsible AI? I mean AI is not just for the use of AI. You must use it responsibly. So with the CPaaS on board and with the AI elements, we have to tap into those AI elements that are, in quotes, responsible AI. So we have a CPaaS platform, and you have some AI components that will aid your CPaaS platform. That's what you integrate with it. So you're not going to be integrating things that are not relevant, or things that are irrelevant, sorry. Yeah. So what I'm saying in effect is that AI is good. Yeah. There is no fear. Like I said, we are an advocate of responsible AI. We must use the good parts of AI to effortlessly integrate into the CPaaS. And that will make your business better.
Yeah, interesting. You went into another interesting conversation about responsible AI. If there is responsible AI, it means there is irresponsible. Yeah. Which one is irresponsible?
So, thanks, that was a good one. So, we may not say irresponsible, but we talk about using AI for
the good of the
for the good of humanity and using AI for the bad of humanity. So we all know that sometimes AI may be used for things that are not ethically right.
You're right.
And that is what we mean by responsible AI. So if you're in a particular area, geographical area of the world, you know the things that are tolerable, things that the people tolerate. So that is responsible AI. So when you are in Africa or in Nigeria, there are things that the culture of the people, the things that people do that are able to that they tolerate. Hence, we call it responsible AI. So when you are dealing with AI, it's not for AI's sake or for the fun of AI. It is to make sure that you are dealing with it in a responsible and ethical manner, which is the most important thing.
I agree with you, Steve, 100%, because, you know, IT can be used for the good of the society.
Yeah.
But with the same IT, people scam other people,
Exactly.
you know, deceive people, take their money
Exactly.
away, wire fraud,
Exactly.
all sorts of whatever,
Exactly.
which are really very irresponsible.
Exactly.
You know, and unless you have really fortified yourself, it becomes really very challenging.
Exactly.
So what's the future for CPaaS? Does
For-
it have a future, or is something going to come now and knock it off?
I think from my perspective and from
Yeah.
my studies of what I have seen on CPaaS, the future is very bright. And the reason why I say this is that right from when we started this discussion, I explained that isolated systems will no longer be in vogue. The same way we have gradually advanced from simple chat GPT to even advanced chat GPTs. The same way we have moved from simple algorithms to advanced algorithms. That's the same way the CPaaS is going to evolve. Today, we are talking about ensuring that isolated systems are no longer in vogue. And they are no longer in vogue because we have seen that they are costly, they are time wasting, they are not efficient, having isolated systems. That's why the CPaaS is there. The CPaaS, therefore, conglomerates these isolated systems into a futuristic manner that you're able to have these isolated systems in one place. As the CPaaS moves on, AI is going to be integrated in. And that's why I love the angle of bringing in the AI initially. AI is going to be integrated in. A whole lot of things are going to be added, but CPaaS has a bright future. Businesses will have no choice but to be on the CPaaS platforms. They won't have a choice. Because today, if you have a business and you want to buy a unified communication system, you know how much it is?
It's expensive.
Just a unified communication system. You have a business today, you want to build a state-of-the-art website. You know how much it is? Quite expensive. So what are businesses going to do? As businesses scale up, they must cut costs.
Yeah.
And as you scale up, if you do not cut costs, you might be out of business. So businesses are going to leverage on CPaaS as they scale and ensure that they're able to harness every single area of communication to make their businesses successful. And that is what we see coming in the next future for CPaaS.
That's interesting. I think we are in interesting times. We have CPaaS, we have AI, Chat GPT, machine learning, all sorts of solutions are coming up that are making life interesting for us. There's one question people ask. CPaaS and contact center, contact center solutions, are they the same? If not, what is the difference? Because I know you have implemented several of these.
Yes.
Contact center solutions, CPaaS, are they the same, or what's the difference between both?
So the CPaaS and contact center are not the same thing, but they are a blend of each other. The strategy is that normally people refer to contact center where you have human beings, you have people receiving calls, receiving all kinds of messages. The CPaaS can be integrated into the contact center.
Okay.
So if you have a ready-made contact center, you can integrate your CPaaS. It cuts a lot of cost for you. So it's automated, it's AI-driven. So the things that humans or the things that people would have done, you have an automated system that does that. So the CPaaS at the contact center are not same thing, but they're integratable. It is something that for people that already have contact centers, they can integrate and harness the efficiencies of a CPaaS platform.
Yeah, so it's like, is it a subset or it's just something that can be added to what you already have?
It's something that can be added to what you have.
To what you have. That's interesting. Interesting. So in case you are just joining us, we've been discussing communications platform as a service. I've been speaking with engineer Steve Obiagu, answered several questions in this area. In case you have a question that you would like to ask him, I want you to please send it to us in the studio, and we will just ask him straight away. We'll provide some answers to them. We are in safe hands. I have another question that has to do with how do you, I know there are so many people that talk about CPaaS, communications platform as a service. How do you choose a CPaaS provider? What are the things you need to look out for? Because I'm sure many people would want to know.
Yeah. So for this area is a very important area, and I think it's critical that we know. The CPaaS environment is new, and only very few providers are actually offering this as we speak. And the strategic way of choosing the best providers are look at providers that have a tested case of being able to handle it. That's one. Look at providers that the assistance, if you need help, that they can be there to help you. And look at providers that can follow you through your journey. As a business, you want somebody that can look you in the eyes, look at your journey, look at your predictive positioning in the future, and take you through the route of this journey. So these are the three basic ways you have to determine which of the providers that you will use. Specifically, the provider must be technically available.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So looking at the government level, public sector, we've been talked about banks, talked about healthcare, spoken about SMEs.
Yeah.
Is this something that the public sector can also benefit from, government?
Definitely. I mean, the fact is that if you go into most industrialized nations, and specifically speaking, if you go, as we are in the fourth industrial revolution, AI, implementation of digitalization, transformations are going all over the place. So for government, it's a no-brainer really, because as governments grow, ministries grow, they require to get feelers from the citizens that they serve. And to get these feelers from these citizens come from several areas. It could be by telephony, it could be by email, it could be by web, it could be by internet. If a government establishment has a CPaaS platform, it makes it easier. They can feel the pulse of the people immediately. So you don't need to have people protesting or carrying placards before you know what the problems are. So if, for instance, you have a Ministry of Justice, for instance, that has a CPaaS platform, you don't need to know what is going on. Because people's complaints, people's issues will immediately be on that portal, and you can sieve them in priority. So the CPaaS platform gives you that ability as government to be able to feel the pulse of the citizens immediately without waiting for unrest or, placards carrying people and all that. So that's how government can benefit from it. And this will be in several areas of government. I just use the Ministry for Justice. It can be any of the ministries that want to feel the pulse of the people.
Okay, thanks for that. Let's look at some aspect of telecoms like 5G. How do they enhance CPaaS, or how will CPaaS benefit from things like that? Would they bring speed, or are they related in any way?
In fact, when I hear you say 5G, I was in China some few months back, and we're talking about 6G, 7G.
Wow.
So that shows you that technology is evolving.
It's evolving.
And as technology evolves, it means that the various things that rely on technology are also evolving. The 5G and beyond, the technology of 5G and beyond will increase the speed of implementation of these CPaaS platforms. Because like I said, the platform is a set of infrastructures that manage services. So this will aid in speed, efficiency with the 5G, And also, it bridges communication gaps between generations. So, for those of us that use the 4G those days, you will see that the speed of things are a bit slower, but with 5G, it's a bit faster. So it's all about customization, which brings more data. At the same time, you need something that is fast to work. So the 5G will greatly improve the CPaaS platform's ability to be able to reach customers, to be able to do things that you want it to do.
Interesting. As we start to wrap up, Steve, one question again that I would like to ask is, if people are not using CPaaS, then what are they using and what pains or challenges are likely to come from there?
Yeah. So it's obvious. If people are not using CPaaS, they're using isolated systems. And the pains are obvious. I mean, for those that are using standalone servers, you know the pain it takes if you miss an update and what will happen when you miss an update. For those that are not web friendly, you know the limitations your business has. Somebody sends an information about your business on the web, and you are not able to harness that information and use it to expand.
Like living in the Stone Age.
Yes, that's a pain, because your business stays in its Stone Age manner because you have not harnessed the information that was sent to you. So the strategy of CPaaS is to move you beyond that level. Ensure that those pains of trying to make sure your updates are there, there's a security update that has come, you miss it, and then somehow you get scammed. So the CPaaS platform saves you from all that. It gives you that leverage to be able to stay on top of your game without necessarily having to employ 26 staff or 5 staff or 7 staff to be monitoring several things. So the CPaaS becomes a central platform that gives you that advantage of being there at the right time you want to be there.
That's interesting. So is there any regulatory challenges that one should be aware of before you say you want to implement, or it's on the part of the people, the providers?
So when you're implementing the CPaaS, you have to be aware of things like PCI DSS. You have to be aware of the GDR, the Global Data Inventory Program.
So you need all of that.
You need these to be able to operate with the CPaaS platform.
Oh, is that for the operator or for maybe somebody like me that I'm just a user?
It's generally for the operator.
For
the user, it's not your, I mean, the fact is that you have seconded this out to the operator.
Yeah.
So as the user, it's the operator's problem to be able to get these policies in place, and which a lot of people will have in place already.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Steve. I have learned a lot from this session. We've been talking about communications platform as a service. And Engineer Steve Obiagu has spoken a lot about this, spoke about, the benefits, spoke about different type of industries that are using it. How does it relate to a contact center solution? What do you stand to benefit when you move to this type of platform? I think he has also spoken about some other areas of technology that can enhance the value of CPaaS. Spoke about AI, ChatGPT, many solutions that are evolving. I think we are in some interesting times because new solutions keep coming that enhance how we run our business, that allow us to scale. Maybe before we were running systems in silos. We don't need to run silo systems again. We have something that is centralized and makes our life easier. Thanks a lot, Steve. As we plan to go, what will be your last word, parting word for many people that have joined this forum? What action would you want them to take?
I think it's an eye-opener. We all need to know that technology is evolving, and for us all, our businesses need to evolve and need to improve. Truth about it is that for each person listening to me today, you have one business or the other, and you need to scale up. You need to be more efficient. You need to ensure that the right technology is being used. You don't need to wait. The CPaaS is something that you need to use. It will increase your general coverage. It will increase your customer reach. It will make your business become more enviable to others. And I believe that as we progressively tune into the CPaaS platforms, it becomes a ready-to-use environment for everyone that has been able to join on the platform.
Thank you, Steve. Pleasure having you again.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks everybody for joining. We'll be drawing the curtains at this point. I'm sure you have learned one thing or the other whilst Steve was speaking. The idea is you should take some action. We bring this program so that you can enhance your business, so that your business can scale. Small and medium scale businesses, banks, e-commerce, healthcare, whatever area of business you are into, information technology has become a major enabler. They said data is the new oil, right?
Exactly.
So through IT, we share data, we share information that if you take advantage of them, you can actually have a major influence, positive influence on your business. Once again, my name is Femi Adeoti. I want to thank you once again for joining us. Until we'll come back the next time, thanks for joining.